This week, for 5 Minute Deities, I will be discussing one of the most well-known of the gods, Thor. Known as Thunor to the Anglo-Saxons and Donar in Old High German, Thor features heavily in both the poetic and prose Eddas as the archetypal hero, and tales of his deeds can be found throughout many of the surviving literary sources. Many of the tales focus on his journeys, which are often to the lands of his enemies, the giants, and often in the company of Loki. On one such journey he acquires two servants, the siblings Thjalfi and Roskvar, after Loki tricks them into eating the marrow from the bones of one of Thor's goats, meaning that when he revives the goat, its leg is lame. Loki is also responsible for the acquisition of Thor's greatest possession, the hammer Mjolnir. This comes about after Loki cuts off the hair of Thor's wife, Sif, and to get a replacement, Loki challenges two teams of dwarfs to create the best treasures they can, one of which is Thor's hammer. Throughout the literary sources we have about Thor, he is portrayed as the protector of gods and of Asgard, often using his strength and his hammer Mjolnir to fight off those who would do them ill. Many a giant who travels to Asgard finds their fate at his hands. For this reason, when his hammer is stolen by a giant wishing to marry the goddess Freya, it is a disaster for the gods, and Thor is forced to dress as a bride to deceive the giant and reclaim his hammer. Needless to say, the wedding guests are quickly dispatched as soon as he has Mjolnir back. Unlike many of the other deities whose stories are only concerned with affairs between gods and giants, Thor is seen to have a direct interest in mankind. He is seen as the guardian of Midgard, the realm of men, and his mortal enemy is the Midgard serpent. He is said to be the son of Odin, the Allfather, and Jord, the goddess who embodies Earth itself, and this could well be why he is so keen to protect the inhabitants of Earth from danger. It may be because of this link with humans that we see a lot more evidence for the worship of Thor than many of the other deities. Even today, the most recognisable heathen symbol, and that most often worn as a pendant, is that of Thor's hammer. Thor is said to be able to hear whenever his name is spoken on Midgard, meaning that, like Freya, he is one of the deities who is more likely to listen to the prayers of humans than some of the others. There is evidence that in Norway and Iceland it was Thor whose image often sat in the place of honour in shrines and temples. He is mentioned on runestones, has place names across northern Europe such as Thursley in Surrey, Donnersberg in Germany, and Thorsaga in Denmark named after him, as well as the day of the week, Thursday. There is evidence of him being worshipped across Europe long before the Viking Age and right up to the Christianization. Even after the end of the heathen period, Thor's cult endured through folklore and custom. There is even one documented source from the end of the heathen period that states that an elderly follower of the old gods believed that Thor had challenged Christ to single combat. He was mentioned by the Brothers Grimm in a 19th century tale, and evidence of his red beard remains in a Danish folk rhyme. As well as the use of Thor's hammer, there are other aspects associated with the worship of Thor. There is evidence of the use of fire in his early worship, and the use of goats or goat meat as an offering, due to the two goats which pull his chariot, and as I have already mentioned, could be eaten and then revived again using the power of Mjolnir. Oath rings seem also to have been special to Thor, and oaths sworn upon them are witnessed by the god. Similarly, the oak tree is said to be particularly sacred to him, and of course, thunder and lightning are associated with Thor, as they are said to be the result of his beating his hammer on an anvil. Interestingly, although Thor does not belong to the Vanir deities who are most often responsible for fertility, he does have a role here too. The symbol of Thor's hammer is traditionally placed in the bride's lap at a wedding feast to ensure the couple are blessed with children. Now, I've barely scraped the surface here, but I hope this brief introduction to Thor proves useful, and I will finish with a prayer. We call to the Thunderer, we call to the Warder, we call to Thor. Strongest of the gods, we call to you, great protector of gods and men alike. With the hammer of the gods in your hand, you protect the boundaries of Asgard and Midgard from giant, from giantess, from serpent. Drainer of oceans, lifter of Jormungandr, you who fought bravely against the ravages of age. Champion of Asgard, your strength is unmatched, your bravery legendary, your loyalty unquestionable. We thank you for your protection, O lightning bringer. We thank you for inspiring our own strength in all that we do. Hail, Thor!